Welcome everyone. I'm Lottie Starshot, your local magical girl with just a slight gotcha addiction. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I will be playing the demo for the dark horror romance visual novel TOUCHSTARVED. I am very excited to play this. I've been meaning to play it as soon as the demo was released with the Kickstarter, but of course life gets in the way. But finally I am going to play through this and see some of the love interests, and hopefully I find one I like, or I just like all of them and want all of them for myself. But anyway, TOUCHSTARVED is made by Red Spring Studio. It is an indie company as far as I know. They describe the game as desperation leads you to the shadow city of Iridia, where your fate entwines with 5 monstrous strangers. Each can offer you salvation or damnation. How far will you go to cure yourself? I remember when they first started advertising for the game, I believe it was just the silhouettes of the love interest for the game, and automatically it just caught my attention, and then they started showing the love interest, and now I want all of them for myself. I want to dominate these boys. So we're gonna go ahead and start playing. I am very excited for this. Alright, this is a demo of the TOUCHSTARVED prologue and not the finished project. Thank you. Alright, TOUCHSTARVED is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. So yes, this is for the adults, big boys, big people today. If you accept the embargo terms and content warning, please click to proceed. Alright. In TOUCHSTARVED, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choose different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. Remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. I definitely will be saving often. I know that from playing a whole bunch of Otome games. Every choice you make, you want to save just in case. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to get the secret ending. I'll do one playthrough and I'll see how long it takes to go through it. And then I might just save at every choice just in case. Alright. So name, of course, Lottie. Choose your pronouns. Alright. I like how they have choose your pronouns. So hopefully that will actually reflect in the story. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams, where reality wore so thin it split. And from the fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect. Others were mindless beasts, driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrive in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born with the curse, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Alright, so our hands alter the minds of anyone we touch. I wonder what that means. Are we in control of this alter, or does it just happen and it's random? Alright, so there are 3 backstories so we can choose, and that I'm assuming that changes like our answers in the game, so that's really interesting. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You're raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's words, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presence around you. Alright, so this one we're in the temple, the Hound, a forsaken thief. You're raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when no one else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to Cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city. using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The alchemist, an abandoned mage, an exiled Cenobian mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to Cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Alright, so all these are very different. So this one we're raised as a temple, so I guess kind of like a religious thing. This is we're a thief or abandoned mage. I actually like the mage one more. It kind of works with the whole magical girl thing too. So we're gonna go with the abandoned mage story, and we'll see how that works out for us. Yes, this is correct. Yes. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seas across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I've joined a caravan bound across the waste. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. Alright, very tall buildings. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world, and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. Okay, so we finally know. I know they kept on saying the word Cenobium, but they didn't explain what it was until now. Alright, so I guess scholars, people who could hopefully help us with our cursor there. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a curse is a final stretch of salt-soaked waste. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Danger already? Oh, this is really a wasteland. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's lights. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh, this really kills people. Hold on. That was really quick. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A traitor I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies littered the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Oh, that's not too pretty, but I like it. I'm digging it. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. The wagon's kind of tipped over. We can't really get past. Can we make it to the city? Our ankles kind of hurt though. I feel like hold on, wait. Hold on, save slots. There you go. Okay, that's saved, returned, yeah. So let's try and run for the city then. Even though our ankle is hurt, I'd probably be stupid and run for the city. I take off, running deeper into the haze. Wait, not into the haze. Is the haze in front of the city? Wait a minute. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Please don't kill me already. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fog ball twists and stretches around. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog, our eyes met too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. Oh, he was trying to run away. I'm so sorry, my guy. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with sharp razor claws. Oh, R.I.P. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Oh, he ain't coming back from that, unfortunately. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting out from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gauge turned deep into my palm. The pain is quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. It's not the monster, right? Can you stand? Oh, hello, traveler. One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. Oh, we can kind of see her hand here. Okay. If I remember correctly, with like the CGs, it doesn't show our full body, just little parts. It's something I'm not used to when playing Otome games, honestly, because I kind of like seeing the characters actually interact. But I'm fine with this so far. I think it depends on how the CGs look. But we can see our hands. It looks kind of darkened, I'm assuming from the curse. And looks like kind of golden veins running along our arms. And our arm, or our hand, is wrapped in bandages, I guess because of the curse. Alright. One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Alright, so the curse does something to them, but I'm not sure what yet, so we're gonna hopefully see it? Oh, okay, it's this. Okay. I guess the urge to kill? Is it different from everyone, though? Their lips peel back in a deranged grin. I kind of like the switch between the expressions. That was really nice. Oh, I can't read evil voices like that. Pretend I read that evilly. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip of my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Oh, I don't want to die though, sir. Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. We're gonna fight them off. I'm trying to live, right? Well, let me save though. This game has me very paranoid, more so than regular Otome, because of the warning in the beginning. We're gonna try and fight them off. Can we gouge out some eyes? Like, that can something, right? Can pull out their mouth? Do something. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrists, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The eyes are right there. Can we not reach them? The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. Oh, don't tell me I'm already gonna die. This can't be happening. I'm going to die? And not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips with still split in the macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. Someone got him from behind? They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over, the claws hooked through their... Oh, one of the soulless got him. Okay. Thanks for the help. Now, leave me alone? The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin, thin as though grinning. Oh, don't tell me we die already! No! There's a flash of claws, red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth in the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds. Mine. Neatly severed at the elbow! Wait a minute! It took off my arm? It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. Aw, man. Do not tell me I really got a bad ending in the demo out of all things. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Say psych. Say psych. Oh, please say psych. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. Oh, RIP to her arm too. If we're still alive, can they attach that? Make it better? I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin. A firm surface underneath me. A strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Oh, please tell me I'm alive. Oh, let's go! I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of a lamplight. And first love interest speak? Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in a little more than a creaky whisper. I clam my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No? No? Who the hell is this? That was such a casual no, too. Yeah. Safe. I'm saving everywhere. I'm gonna sit my ass up. Yeah. Sir, who are you to tell me no? I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims, and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat, and he's so gorgeous too. Just look at this man. A specimen of an ikemen, the best one. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked, except for a thin linen sheet. You could have... Do they not have, like, hospital gowns? I would have mind, like, a sheet, like something. Not like a rug or just sheet and me naked underneath. Maybe like a dress shirt, something. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, Inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You're safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you're not to be dissuaded. No, sir, I would like to be dressed. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemia concoctions lie the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctively metallic that I can't quite place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Oh, he's a big boy, okay. We're gonna save. Could you step out? Oh yes, please step out. Give me some modesty. I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. Could you step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quirks. I was not planning on watching. Oh, you could have fooled me, sir. I was naked under that cover for a long time, right? Still smiling to himself, he disappears through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the locks turn behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. Oh, so you did reattach it. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off. But yet, my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping at my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arms remain resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening up drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. I swear I wasn't snooping. Please don't look at me, sir. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable. Though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and molted skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it'd only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands. though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. How many slots they give you? Ooh, they give you a lot. About 100. Okay, E. I'd probably just say nothing and kind of like just stare at the ground like, I don't want to say anything, sir. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No. Best to keep my curse to myself for now and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kudas. Alright, our first boy, Kudas. Alright. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You're the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm still a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit still, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal my magic, I should detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary at all. The doctor, Kudas, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is a city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I mean, you can't blame me for being cautious and trying to figure out how the hell did you reattach my arm and it's working perfectly, right? I was just... You're new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. Okay, sir, you're going a little too far with that word. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? No, he's treating me like a child. He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Low though I am to admit it, he has a point. Oh, damn it. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Lottie. My name is Lottie. It is a pleasure to meet you, Lottie. I can't really say the same for you at the moment. You're pretty to look at, but I don't like this conversation. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Continuously saving. Why did you save me? Yeah, that's the one. Is there ulterior motive? Are you just that nice of a guy? Do I owe you something now? If there's anything I've learned, it's that everybody wants something. With the world in such peril, no one reaches out a hand without expecting something in return. Can I ask why you saved my life? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kudas. I could hardly leave you to die in the waste, but you could have. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I'd never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kurtas might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that if you would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help but being curious about you, Lottie. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. Yeah, he's kinda curious, I guess. Is he? I don't know which one to choose. Speechless. Yeah, I'm kinda speechless at this point. I honestly didn't know what to say to that. If you knew more about me, you might not like me as much as you think. Doctor or not, he wouldn't want to risk his life or sanity over me. No one ever does. A peculiar thing to say. Why would I have cause to dislike you? And here we are, back to my curse, the thing I've been desperate to avoid discussing. A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Please leave me be, sir, just for a few minutes. Unfortunately, you're not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kurtas lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Lottie? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. Oh, I don't think he liked that. Hold on. The look on his face changed so quickly. The cenobium? The look in his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The cenobium gates opens for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? No, I'm by myself. I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Oh, okay, I think that's the other love interest. I think there's 5 in total. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. This isn't much to go on, but Kurtas points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. Alright, so that was one love interest we have met so far. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the streets. Aren't chamber pots what people used to use the bathroom in? Oh no. Okay, yeah, we should not be walking over those. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I scrapped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was open. There are few coins to begin with, but they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed doors. Kudos didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kudos gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley into the crowded main street. The line outside Kudos' clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet. Deep grows worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today? Is he selling eyeballs, or is he saying there's not that many eyeballs being fried up? That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubbly awning. A large fish stares at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layers of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed smile. Okay, I understand what he means, but not too many eyeballs. So there's probably fish out there with like 4 or 5 eyeballs, or as many as that Solus that basically murked us. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. We should savor this then. Eat one of the long boys and then wait later to eat the others. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway, adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. Alright, so we can see the visual difference, the physical difference between these streets and then the streets where Kudos' clinic is. So maybe like the closer to the center, like the more rich and nice looking everything is. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying ride of color. Painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. We gonna go in? The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. I'm no stranger to bars. Sometimes I would take my books to the local tavern for a change of scenery, but I much prefer quieter places. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Oh, what is this? Show! 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 The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar, and their boosts to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. Is some lady gonna come out dancing? There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale stench current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. Oh, this is a nightmare. Please do not squish me. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tightly to steady myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Oh, is that him? Seriously, you dogs again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. Oh, he's so pretty, and he has a scar, making even more prettier. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. Oh, that kind of hurt a bit. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrists, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, not just on account of the impressive performance. There is no incantation, no spell circle. I've never seen something so beautiful and intricate, conjured so effortlessly. Leander must be an incredibly gifted mage. No wonder Kratos recommended him. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Please me for my gotcha game, sir. Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies, while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, looking on me instead. Oh no, wait! No attention, please. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. No! No, please no, don't do this, sir. Oh man. Let's see. I'm gonna be nice and actually take the flowers. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave my hands, their lights dim. They fade away into a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander sips off the table, dropping around among the excited crowd with an audible clink. All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. Oh no, he really is looking at me. Hold on, sir. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this yet. Hold on, sir. I'm not good. I'm not good with people just staring at me. I'm not good at this. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders press against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Iridia? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. I would like some juice, please. If they have alcohol, they surely have juice, right? Let's see, and we'll just get water. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves to fix our drink, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sore taste rises in my throat. Here comes the questions. So, what brings you to the Wick? Kudas sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I don't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. I drain the water in a single gulp. Leander takes a swig of his beer and lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get the Cenobium. Please don't be mad. I don't like talking about the Cenobium to others now after seeing Kudas's reaction. Yep. Oh no, wait, the bar went silent. Hold on. Can we go back? Wait a minute. I didn't want that. Did I really say that out loud, or people's ears are just trained on the word Cenobium? As soon as the word Cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Oh my god, I feel so embarrassed. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the Cenobium in here? I am a stranger, sir. I don't know etiquette, apparently. Throw him out. This is Bloodhound territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the Cenobium. Aw, man. Come on, sir, please do something. How am I supposed to know? I'm a stranger. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhound silently returned to their drinks. Only a handful continued to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The Cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix in enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. I follow Leander to an alleyway, tucked behind the wet wick, where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Curtis didn't send you here for help with the Cenobium, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggests I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the Cenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth is weight in gold. Oh, I'm gonna have to say something, right? Curtis told you the truth. The Cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side, and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. Torture? My teacher never described anything like that. But the Cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. Oh no, we're gonna be naive in this, aren't we? The Cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. Oh, I guess that was a lie. Propaganda, maybe? If any place held answers, it would be the Cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, excuse me, if I stalked everything on a lie, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem, and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Critus pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting Solus, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, and free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he even finishes his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the Cenobium's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the Cenobium, but if his show is any indication, then he's even stronger than the mage who raised me. She couldn't do anything about my curse, but maybe. I'm silent, plagued by my indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I had any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whimper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally, my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I waited till I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I even finish, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tugs his right hand free and flexes his fingers. Let's see it. Sir, you're very eager for this. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, an enchantment for protection, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city, you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think Curtis would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium. Better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I mean, that's nice and all, but I kind of just met you. I'm very reluctant to trust you, sir. I looked from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I began unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine, but if you lose control, Don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. With each joint exposed, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Do we want to hold back or actually touch him? I actually want to figure out what happens if I touch him. I'm gonna touch him. I tap his palm as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. Sir! I told you, there's really nothing to worry. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Actually, theory time. So our touch changes people, but I think so far we've only seen people turn into madness and desperation. I mean, is horny a feeling? What if it just makes people like us and horny if we touch them? And what if that's working with Leander? A different type of touch. So we said it changes people, but we only seen like a small focus of what that change is. So this could be a different one, maybe? Obsession? He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but remains still, except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. We're looking for madness, but I think it's the different type of madness. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palms, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. Oh, okay. Alright, we've been around a bit. I have no experience with that, but alright, okay. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandages, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. Steve, do we want to keep touching him? Maybe we should be polite and kind of let go. I'll keep touching him just because I can. Oh wait, we're really touching him. Hold on. We're really going all the way. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. Are you sure, Leander? Are you sure? He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at the gold pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that works. May I ask your name? I'm Lottie. You're right to hide this from me, Lottie. This curse of yours isn't like anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you best not go showing that off to anyone else. Being a bit possessive already? I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't really know. Let's get you properly settled then. The wet wig is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all off to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Oh, escapades, that's kind of italicized. Does that mean like sexual escapades or something else? Leander's laugh sounds slightly strange. Oh, I think it's something sexual. Okay, Leander, I see you, sir. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Lottie. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. No sex talks. No, bartender, innkeeper person, no sex things, no. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavily in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Lottie. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. Alright, let me take a quick snack and water break. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back for my little snack break and we are going to continue. And also my cat is sleeping beside me on the desk, so you might hear snoring and it's from him, just letting you guys know. I don't want to disturb him. The air clings, sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless street looks barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least they got a reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kritos and Leander both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted. But I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. I'm about to turn when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. Is this why everyone is not on the streets? Am I just a little dummy out here by myself? The shadow runs down the street in rivulets, formless, dark spreads like ink into blotting shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Ooh, okay, one of the other love interests. Alright, so we're meeting 3 out of 5 so far. I think there's 5 total. Might be 5 or 6. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human, were it not for the tufted ears and tail curled around his ankle. Or the dust-pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet, and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me suddenly of blood, where it curls around his collared throat. jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. Was that him? The only beasts I've seen are the Wix-drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. Is that my key? Wait, was that shadow beast him and he just stole my key from him? With the flourish of his hand, my in-key room appears dangling from his finger. It turns on his chain, glittering when it catches the light. Can I take away the box so I can see his thigh? Oh no, it should be in the CG section. Alright, hold on. It should be in the CG section. Let me just wait. My hands fly to my cloak's pockets, and sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his fingers, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. Do not trust him even though he is pretty and wears a collar. I'm still on the edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. It has to be our key, because we'd already looked panicked, so we can't really say whose key is that. It's our key. How'd you even find that? The key, I mean. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. He smiles wide, enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. I think it's you at this point. It seems like you're the one taking advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. The shadows definitely had it in his power. I approached the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance? Yeah, I don't trust you. You pickpocketed me. I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? Yes. He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. Ah, okay. I don't know if YouTube will let me say the word. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Lucky for you, I don't charge. Sir, no, I do not even know who the hell you are, and I'm 100% sure you pickpocketed me. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a thing, and for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I felt something other than dread. My face grows hot. That's not what I meant! I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half for it? No, hold on, sir. No, sir, I am not interested in any sexual things, no matter what, or no matter who it is, so please no. No thank you, and no again. Or you could just hand over my key? Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. Was that supposed to be sexual? He's confusing. Just throw it here. So, some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run? He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wig for the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. Oh, okay, this guy has standards. He's kind of not arrogant, pompous. I think pompous is the right word. You're obviously not from around here. So, tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen? I wonder. He listlessly watches the arc of my key swing around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger's sharp eyes flicker towards me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. No! No, I swear, no. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most infuriating one I've ever heard of. See, we're gonna turn this man down, sir. I am here for your cure. I am here for your cure. Are you done? Or did you plan on flirting with me until night falls? He tosses his chest in mock affront. You wound me. How can you be so immune to my charms? You're about as charming as an ox and a half as subtle. I suggest you go practice your seduction on someone interested. That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. How about you teach me the ropes? Show me a thing or two. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monster looks, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me this one's more dangerous than he lets on. Even if he has a lovely laughter, we're mad at this man, but he still has a pretty laugh. I understand. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me. But I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack. Or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. I am sorry, sir. I like my anime guys underneath me, not me being above them. I will bite you instead. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. It kind of reminds me of Bellio from Grand Blue Fantasy. Basically, anything this man says is a sexual innuendo. Okay, I'm starting to dig him a bit. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their lustus is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the dangling key from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? Oh man, we keep on bringing out Cenobium and we already know people have a hatred or like, don't go to that place. Yep. His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. The absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those stuffy boars in their limp-dick tower can't even dream of. Oh no, okay. I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matters at the Cenobium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? He's very pushy. I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of this tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for my key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Oh, what are you gonna do to me, sirs? Please stop. Hey! We're kinda close, aren't you? He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood, reek of death and the road. Oh, Kuras and that fucking doctor. Is he talking about Kuras? Oh no, do they not get along with each other? His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing against my jaw. Hold on, sir. You're a bit too close for my comfort. I don't even know you. Let go. I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a dip whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we're both... Veer! Vire? Vire? How do you say that? Vire? I need a pronunciation chart, please. The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her Cenobium uniform is nearly identical to the one my mentor kept tucked away in her closet. Oh, okay, so we might have connections with Cenobium. I leave you for all of what? 10 minutes? And you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourists? Is that person like his master or something like that? Like someone who owns them? Because he definitely has a collar on, so I kind of assumes maybe someone owned him, like as a pet, maybe? The stranger, Vire? I really don't know how to say that. I guess I'll do Vire? It sounds weird, but I'll do it like that. I take it, rolls his eyes, and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me, and his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vire cuts in. I was graciously offering my friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger is drawn to you like a moth to a flame. It will always find you, given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off the wilting look from Vire. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Vire rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair to the side so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. Oh, hold on, wait. I'm actually started liking it a bit more if I can put a leash on him and give him walkies. A heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Vire poses deliberately to hide his leash from him. Oh, okay, I get the scene much better now. The lady basically attached him to a leash, like how some people attach their dogs to a leash outside of a store or something when they go inside. Alright, so he is kind of like a pet. He doesn't really have any freedom. Alright. My bad, man. Maybe I can forgive the flirting if you wanted to find some entertainment then. The woman produces a keyring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little solace hunt. They're hunting for solace inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Vire lingers. He stretches his arm over his head with a yawn. And I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Hey, no staring! We're not supposed to be flirting with this man. At least not yet. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, Vire hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try the thing I mentioned? The Levitian not. That the. Oh, hold on. I only know knots from like Omegaverse things. Oh my gosh. Okay. That the one where you take 3 fingers and. Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you is disgusting. Oh, that got really sexual. Hold on. Vide's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric had vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Does he still have my key? Wait. Reflectively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I pull it out of my pocket and raise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts from relief. I don't know what Vide's game was, or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share, if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the Cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Iridia in two. A colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill toward the distant tower. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. Now I'm thinking about it. This is the case at Cenobium, or is one of the love interests part of the Cenobium? The Cenobium of the Luminous Void. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their mist. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up, until the top of the Cenobium tower disappears into the clouds overhead. The gates are so heavily enchanted that even standing near them sets my teeth on edge. Alchemically reinforced locks, invisible sigils of alarm, and who knows what else. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'd be too scared. I'd be too chicken to want to knock on these gates. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi, you there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing. Just the leaves blowing gently in a cool breeze. Did I not click? Oh, I did click, okay. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello? A whisper so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her. Not because of the way she smiles a little too widely, or the way her tousled braid looks unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a bright, vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. These days, you need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, or if I even should. Save. Hehehe. Respond sarcastically, say nothing? Let's try and respond sarcastically. Maybe we can get more information out of her. Seems like I'm in the market for a miracle. Know anyone selling? She beams at me like I've said the greatest thing she's ever heard. Lucky for you, I have them for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the steps, but she abruptly steps into my path. She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lace of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. Ma'am? Ma'am? What do you do? As warm fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarly skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? By the looks of it, the disease that afflicted the woman ate away at her spine, leaving her with the hollowed vertebrae at the back of her neck. Is she good? I mean, she's not good, but is she gonna be good? How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the Cenobium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scarf peeks out from under her collar. I stand there, wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the Cenobium shut gates, then follow her down the steps. We descend from the higher streets, leaving behind their ghetto decadence as we cross the river. The wet, derelict districts feel more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther, then farther still, until I'm met with an all too familiar sight. Is this Kratos' place? Oh no, it's the outskirts? Oh, hold on, ma'am. We shouldn't be going here, right? My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntarily. Say, this has to be a setup, right? Like, is she being for real? I would rather not, considering our past experience with this. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Aias. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than that. I squint against the empty wastelands. Only a fool, or someone with nothing to lose, will leave the city. Apparently, I'm both. But if this sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. I set up into the wastes, over my shoulder. The woman calls after me. Good luck, Lottie. I hope we meet again. Did we ever tell her my name? I don't think I ever told this lady my name. How'd she figure that out? Hold on. I don't like this. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. Did we not realize she somehow knows our name? What seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward. One step, then another, until a realization hits me. Please! Yes, thank you! I never told that woman my name. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building, nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place, it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook from branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watch me in the distance like statues. Aw man, wait a minute. I don't think. I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards the decorated building. Oh, please make it. Flashes of last night chase me. The gushes of blood and screams of death. The smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through this again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crash through towering double doors. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe. But when I process my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. Seems kinda maybe religious? The kind of like the things on the wall kind of look maybe like not scriptures, but like talismans, something like that. And that might be just a gate to hell, you never know, honestly. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with the lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the spring, the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. I think it would be kind of weird to call out, right? Maybe we should stay silent and hope someone appears. I approach the paper cover pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for... oh, save again. Okay. It doesn't matter, I guess. The top one? I'll probably do the closest one to me, honestly. I reach for a note in front of me. It reads, "Dear Mother, don't cry for me. I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye, but we'll meet again in another life. I love you very much. From Iris. P.S. If you ever see me, never speak to me again." Hold on. That's kind of a stark difference between what was said in the main part of the letter, right? It's written in perfect cursive. I've never seen such beautiful handwriting. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty, vacant. Finally, I look towards the sea spring. That stillness hides something deeper, something wrong. Hey! I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different species and sizes, but sharing one identical trait: glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heel teeters over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step, it's deeper than it looks. The voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. "You look lost, little sparrow." His gaze is a violent crimson, and one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over. First with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. In the shroud of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. The soulless growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey! Eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. The soulless are kind of advancing towards me, sir. I can't just look at you and pay attention to what's about to rip me to pieces. For a moment, Anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? Do we want to be mean? Honestly, do we want to be mean and just tell him to F you? Or we would say I'm distracted? I want to be kind of mean this time. I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you. Is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. They named him bastard. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else, almost as if they're waiting for commands. Is he controlling them since they have red eyes? Did you tame them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? That's always the best option, right? I'm innocent. Trespassing? I mean, yes and no. I didn't think I was trespassing. I thought this was sanctuary. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. Expecting mercy was your first mistake. My voice stops in my throat. This man's fierce cruelness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. Maybe I shouldn't have told him fuck him earlier. Maybe that would have helped out the situation a bit. Alright, so many saves. I don't want to ask him for help. What do you want, sir? Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. Show him the hands, show him the hands. With a sharp puff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. He rushes to my face and fires to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his soulless are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I show the skin beneath the wrappings all too well, the hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop. With the weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big, illuminated by lantern light. His features are sharper, stronger. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to set my foot on. I forgot my bag was to the sea spring. I fall, right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weighed nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt, it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So, that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then, why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me. You're Ias, aren't you? Ias? Ace? Ias? It's not Ayas. Ayas? Ayas. Ayas? Ayas. Ayas is Ayas, I think. Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ayas picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the spring, then dumps out the contents in the endless red. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. Then in an instant, it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. What do you need the sea spring's powers for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow. The sea spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. It's not if I'm averse to elixirs or decoctations. I've made my fair share of them, but one misstep and you can easily meet with a fate worse than death. Is there a price? Always. Of course, of course. Ayas taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. That's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earns me an amused, fanged grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless, one big, happy family in your head. My blood run cold. I've never heard of this before. Group minds. Some legends suggest that independent minds can be physically linked together through a strong enough catalyst. It's never been done before. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Ayas strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There are still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over to the sea spring. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ayas's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ayas approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ayas squats beside it. He runs his finger through the tendrils, scratches his chin, and pats his head. Wait, I want to pet it too! Can I pet it? Can I pet it? If the devs are watching this, please give an option where I can somehow pet the little soulless doggy, please. Thank you. A gentle smile plays across Ayas's lips. The affection he holds for the soulless is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Oh, and devs, if you're also watching this, please don't hurt the pretty girl. I love her already. Can we give her a name too? Following a short whistle from Ayas's lip, it trots over to the entrance obediently, tail swaying. I watch the soulless warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have another option for your cure. as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Soulless at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I seek one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Aes's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything, but respond with another curt nod. Alright, so that's 4 out of 5. We saw a glimpse of one of them when we were at the gates of the Cenobium, so hopefully we'll meet him again. Like, for real this time. Outside, more crimson-eyed Soulless scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They're acting like animals, basically. They pay me no attention, as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the Soulless look over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dusk darkens the sky, and by the time we reach the city, the Soulless sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. We get to pet it! Hold on, Devs, hold on! Pet it! As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Soulless tendrils and scratch beneath the chin, just like Aya's hand. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the Soulless spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Iridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible, tame Soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. You going back? Did I click on it? Oh, I did, okay. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city, labyrinthine, even in daytime, has become a warren treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing toward the wet wick. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? Save. We're gonna have to be wary. I gotta be wary of everything. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a fridgen of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement, but the shadows are deep and dark of pools of ink, and I see nothing. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner, and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. Aw, come on, really? The Soulless that attacked the caravan. Does it remember me? It's like she's the one that got away. It's crouched over a dark, indistinct shape. A body. A garland of intestine spills from the pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones. For a mercy, the Soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. I am sorry to whoever just got killed and is being eaten, but I'm just gonna walk away. That's the best choice in this situation. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I can't just stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another. Then, a shred of glass crunches under my heel. No! Don't look at me. Don't look at me. It's not me. It's not me. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the Soulless raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils, every single one of its sulphurous, bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. I mean, the only choice they gave us, I'll still save just because. I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bass splits the silence, and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that sever my arms swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way. A dead end. Oh, RIP to us then. It was a nice time in this city, right guys? When I turn around, the Soulless looms at the entry to the alleyway. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the street are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but they're not gonna help me. Is the door open? I feel like if I scream for help, people are gonna look out and be like, oh, I don't want to help. That looks too much work. You see the Soulless there? It's gonna attack me instead. I roll, grabbing at the handle of the closest door. It turns completely. The hinges creak as I push, and I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits the door from the other side, and it slams shut. Yeah, I kind of expected that. They don't want anyone to come inside with that chasing after me. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, few people will stick their neck out to help their own, flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The Soulless gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestone betrays me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the Soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. Oh, the other love interest. Okay, I was like, are we gonna meet this other character? I rarely crack open one eye, then the other. Not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouched in front of me, one bloodstained hand outstretched. Moonlight slivers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the Soulless? My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind me. The Soulless' many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed, after nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it. Well? I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger gaze dips to my bandages, pale lips parted, on the brink of a question, then close again. With a stretch belaying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay here. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the Soulless gangly body. With their back towards me, I realized I saw their hooded silhouette at the Cenobium. Do we want to talk about the Cenobium? Let's just say, like, you saved me, even though it's obvious. You saved me. I shouldn't have had to. What does that mean? I had to fight it off myself? Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they saved me, and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the Soulless corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Lottie. Min. Suddenly, Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the base of the soulless skull, right between the cervical vertebrae. The soulless thrashes once again, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lung. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper, until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. My heart thuds in my chest. I must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put the wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. They struck with surgical precision. Their quick, clean movements are familiar. Oh, that's in red. That's one of those choices. Okay. Are you a scientist? Min stops mid-motion, lifting their head to stare at me. You know exactly where to strike. Have you studied anatomy or medicine? Not quite. Why is the soulless inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching, before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please, until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium's patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Their brow abruptly furrows and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came from the bounty on that soulless, and you were in the way. Not killing you isn't the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Oh, okay then. My bad. Their answer is stingingly harsh. Can you kind of help? Oh, you know what? I don't think he's gonna help. Never mind. Fed up, I don't bother holding back anymore. Fine, I don't know why'd you dive in out of there to kill some dangerous soulless, then be rude to the person you helped, but go right ahead. Min blinks, staring at me like my head just spun around on my neck. They open their mouth, then close it, looking uncertain. I forge onward, gathering steam. How was I supposed to know there'd be a dangerous soulless hunting in the streets? You don't have to be an asshole about it. You're not as spineless as you look. Lottie? I turn, surprised by the voice. Kratos walks down the street towards us, his white and gold clothing as pristine, despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see that soulless was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. Save. You know them, Kratos? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. A freelancer who wields a dagger like a scalpel. There must be something more to that story. Lottie needs to get back to wherever she's staying, before she wanders into the jaws of another soulless. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Lottie? I'm staying at the Wet Wick. Both their faces fall. What does that mean? Can I not go back? I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about the alleys. That would be nice. Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Amaryllis district, that gaudy cesspit? Come, this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Kratos leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious gaze, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Kratos is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Kritas hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh, resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the wet wick. The route Kritas takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through the darkened streets and twisting alleys. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district, colorful streets, laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the wet wick. Its doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves toward the door, and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctant, trailing me into the tavern. Stretch real quick. As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kritas stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me? The crowd parts as though answering his request. Kritas glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How could anyone breathe in here? Min follows Kritas at a clip pace. Leander is right where I left him, although he's traded places with the bartender. He holds a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glass white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glasses across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shocks of the evening in rapid succession. AS leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congeal, stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make the drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Oh, they're all together. Interesting how all the love interests are in one place. Okay. So they all seem to kinda know each other, which is interesting. I feel like I'm the outsider now. Vire perches on the bar counter's bedside. AS takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasure? You've eaten worse. Vire's lips twitch and his ears flatten when AS offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff, and AS just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually... In one fluid motion, AS throws back his head and downs the shot. Drinking that? A dark look crosses AS' face. Is it not good? It's chewy. Chewy, wait, let me try again. Is it not supposed to be chewy? Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Kritas and Min... At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kritas sets a hand on their shoulder. Aw, Min, no! Min wants to escape. I don't blame them. I promise, this will not take long. Min's eyes dart from Kritas' hand to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Oh man, this is really awkward now that we actually say it. It's like when you meet one person and then they invite you to join your group and the group already has a few people in there, so you feel like the odd one out. They like have stories and everything about each other. I feel so awkward. Can I go to bed instead? Good evening, Leander. AS. Another drinking competition, I presume. Oh, is the evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Kritas acknowledges Leander and AS with the slightest nod, ignoring Vir entirely. Not that Vire seems to mind. They got a history going on there. Okay. He tilts his head in an impish smile, curved his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Kritos. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Min pushes back their hood. They level Veer with a cool look. I thought Aes wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Vide's tail gives an angry twitch. At the first sign of an impeding fight, Leander vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Aes and Kritos. Now, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Kritos' shoulder. You're finally taking me up on the drink, right, Kritos? I am afraid not. We were merely escorting Lottie back to her lodgings. Oh, wait, no, don't let everyone look at me. Please, no. Please, no. Don't look at me. Kritos gestures in my direction, and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. No! We should have just walked to the room, like, oh, bye, and just dipped. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Lottie, it's been too long. Everyone, this is Lottie. She's new to Iridia. Aw, everyone kinda already knows me. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fixed onto me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. Hi again? Yeah, like, hey, yeah. Hi everyone. Again? Wait, you've already met everyone? Aes and Veer level me with the subtly amused expressions. Vide's tail gives a lazy wag. Please leave me alone. We did, not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? I want to sleep. Let me go to bed. In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Iridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Well, color me surprised. You make fast friends, Lottie. I don't think we can be considered friends at this point yet. I wouldn't go more that far. We're more like acquaintances? A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that. Here. Last week. I can hear Min's lips curl with distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues, unperturbed? How do you say that? Let's toast to Lottie's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Oh, don't toast to me. Please don't toast to me. They're making everything so awkward, Leander. No! Kritos politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn in the direction of the noise. Vide looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender, poured from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here? Since when? Vide pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, but be my guest. I know you've got expensive tastes. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his companion, in his company, Aes cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No. My treat. Aes regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. What'll it be, Lottie? Can I get just water again? Water, yeah. Water's fine. Allow me. Leander pushes away from the counter to go flag down the bartender, leaving me with Kritas, and more distantly, Min. I'm not the least bit surprised that neither has bothered ordering anything. They both seem to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Water is a wise choice. Is it your doctor's duty to encourage sobriety? But Kritas shakes his head with a patient smile. The drinks here are notoriously watered down, most likely to cut costs, but it only encourages the patrons to overindulge. Min looks up from adjusting the laces of one of their bracers. The only reason anyone bothers coming here is for cheap rooms and cheaper drinks. Perfect conditions for terrible mistakes. Almost sounds like you're speaking from experience. Their pale face reddens and they look away, scowling. Wait, can I get a backstory of that? Min just getting drunk on all these drinks and not noticing? Leander returns with a glass of water that I accept with a murmured thanks. He claps, drawing the attention of the group. Alright, everyone, let's toast. May Lottie's stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers! Oh, you don't have to, but okay. At least I have some people raising their glasses and at least acknowledging it. Leander, Aeus, and Vire raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms, and Kritas watches with polite indifference. The water is bitter, cold, and tastes faintly metallic, but I savor it all the same. Gradually, the din of the crowded bar fades to a low murmuring. I find myself relaxing, for it feels like the first time in years. Aren't you the popular one, Lottie? I'm guessing you met Kudas first. It would be more accurate to say that I found her. He saved my life. I'm really performing my duty as a doctor. Although, I must admit, I was confused when I woke up missing all of my clothes. Leander makes a choke noise. Somewhere behind him, Min sighs. Is that what you think? Lottie was in grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Kritas' disappointment, and catch Vire snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Kritas isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease, without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. You're one to talk, considering you neglected to warn her to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flickered towards Aeus, and their lips twisted. Because Aeus has all those soulless in his little place. Okay. Aeus is too busy nodding along to Vira's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice. Lost, no doubt, in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this ho-ho. Let's go. Min and Kritas share a brief look. Then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there is something I must discuss with Leander, if you'll excuse us, Lottie. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to sip my water in silence. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and low, it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I turn to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant the others left to strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what they'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me, Leander already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out. Okay. Wait, Vide, hold on. He gets busy. He's got business with Kritas and Min. 2-on-1 business? Isn't he lucky? Already insinuating here. I can't tell if this is champagne or the company, but Vide has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup shakes his shoulders. Why are you so far away? Come join us. He passed the empty bar stool beside Aes, but I hesitate. The smell Vide wears is sweet and distinctively sly, and with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Aes will mess with me next. We don't bite. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me, and you threatened me. Me? Steal? Surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you, and then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking? He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. A simpler answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Vide suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves pulling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Aes sets his hand on Vide's wrist, nearly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh, Begin with proper introductions, get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. The name is Vide, hunter extraordinaire. Vide's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching where hair falls into his eyes. Aes doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. Okay. We can introduce ourselves again, something wrong with that. It's Lottie. Vide considers me for a long moment, his toe idly swaying behind him. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Lottie. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Aes smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Is something funny? No. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. While their sharp, cat-like eyes keep you on edge, something about their tension is... fun? It must be the exhaustion. A flash of white over Aes's shoulders catches my eye. Across the bar, Kritis heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. No, you're not. Vitas hums and wags his finger at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Kritis... hello? I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain. Damn, okay. Asshole. I mutter while massaging my throbbing elbow. The roughneck reels around, shoving the bloodborne out of the way so he can close in on me. Oh no, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's back up a bit. Did he hear me call him an asshole? I didn't really mean it, but I kinda did. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back. A group of bloodhounds called by the commotion circle him, sizing him up. For it feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. Ew! Sir, that's gross. That's how diseases spread. Screw it. Too many freaks in this circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Aes. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Aes's fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gas, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet, right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, Hey, Aes, take it outside. Ignore them, everyone. Look, drinks are on me. With those 4 words, the wick erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. AS vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. RIP to the roughneck, but he kinda deserved it. Curtis lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws their hood up tight as they slip out the side door. Valverde leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. And Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize there's no telling when, if I'll ever see any of them again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow. Oh, okay, and this is how the routes go. Okay. How do you want to do this? I want to follow Ayas to tell you the truth. He seems the most interesting out of all of the love interests so far. Is this how it ends? Because it's the demo, right? Morbid curiosity draws me after Ayas. I slip out the back of the wet wick. Are we still going? This is a long demo. Hold on. I need a break. The alley is dead silent. Not really what I expected from a fight. A dull crunch reaches my ears, then a thud. I peer around the corner of the building, careful to keep hidden. Dark glistening red splatters the ground, spidering through the seams of cobblestone. It guides my eyes to a collapsed body across from me. Once so violent, the roughneck is now little more than a sack of crumpled flesh, blotted with mud. AS exhales, his breath misting against the cold air. Blood flecks his knuckles as he looms over the motionless body, his feet on either side of it. Fear spreads like ice in my bones. Moments ago, he was joking and friendly with the others, but now? AS's crimson eyes find me in the dark. Not running, Sparrow? I rarely raise to my feet, moonlight illuminating my face. I thought I was out of sight. Got eyes in the back of my head. AS steps off the roughneck. My eyes stay locked on the body. It's wet with layers of blood and grime. Completely still. Did you kill him? Hold on. He's alive. Are you sure? Oh, you know what? Actually, it's kind of fine. I remember the meme for anime guys. Like, it's fine if you murder a guy, but you can't disrespect your wife. Me. Calling me a killer or a liar? Liar? Liar, which I guess is both? In that case, he's dead. I squint and he smirks back. Don't believe me? To be honest, it's hard to believe anything coming out of your mouth. I'm a liar after all. His bloody knuckles catch his attention. He tries to rub them clean, but ends up smearing the blood around more. I keep making bad impressions on you. I mean, it's alright so far. I didn't know you cared about my opinion. Just prefer you didn't piss yourself when we talk. Okay, I wouldn't really do that, but alright. Annoyance bubbles in my chest. Well, I'm not pissing myself, even with your bad impressions. Like the first time we met, AS chips away at my fear, replacing it with irritation instead. AS kneels beside the roughneck and frisks him. I can't help but wonder if the crime was worth the punishment, but I hold my tongue. Deftly, AS hands search through the roughneck's pockets. It doesn't take him long to find his prize, a cigarette and matchbox. Hold on, sir, we did not do any smoking here. You need to quit that. He strikes a match, sparks light up his angular features with a golden glow. It's distracting for a moment, but my gaze inevitably drops back to the muddy body. You're just gonna leave him there? AS draws deep from the cigarette. He exhales heavily, smoke curling past his lips. I breathe in the sweet spice scent of cloves. As his tension melts away, he looks at me with cool, lidded eyes. Should I give him a blanket? Unbothered by the maybe corpse, he takes a seat on a crate opposite the bar. I stand awkwardly, forgetting why I came out here in the first place. An unpleasant silence stretched between us. The weather is nice. Cold, murky, and humid, he means. I want to believe he's teasing me, but for all I know, this is pleasant for Iridia. Was Princess good company? Who? He takes another long drag. His metal rings catch the light of the cigarette in a flash of red. The Solace who escorted you back. Oh, her name is Princess! That's so cute! Yes, please, more company with Princess. I would like, Devs, if you're listening to this once more, I would like a CG of him and me playing with Princess, please. Please and thank you. You named it Princess? Jealous? Kinda. I return his smile. You have no idea. I think your nickname's more fitting. Sparrow? Not sure where AS got it from. Maybe I should tell him to call me by my name, but it's kind of nice. Not that I ever tell him that. Before I can dissect my feelings, I quickly change the subject back to the Solace. Save? There we go. She was cute. She was kind of cute, in a weird way. I glanced absentmindedly at my hand, remembering how she nuzzled into my palm at my touch. AS's eyes softened for a brief moment. Her tail wouldn't stop going when she got back. The group of them don't get much attention. Think she's cute now. Wait till you see her tricks. You taught her tricks? Princess is a smart one. She'll learn anything if you have the right rewards. Sounds about right. The idea of taming Solace is still so outlandish to me. I was mauled by mindless, bloodthirsty beasts, and he's talking about them like they're pets. But it's possible, all because of the sea spring. I need to get answers he wouldn't give me before. I carefully take a seat beside him on the crate, contemplating my strategy. He doesn't seem to mind. He closes his eyes, tilts back his head against the wall, relax. Without the pressure of his intense gaze, I feel myself ease up too. As long as I keep my attention away from the bloody heap across from us. I glance over at AS and allow my eyes to linger. A sea glass colored tattoo spirals up his arm, painting over groves of muscle. Silver jewelry glints in the moonlight. It draws my eyes to his chest. Rough hands, carved jaw. His ears, his arms, his pupils, everything about him is sharp. Even the fangs that only show when he grins. But as dangerous as he appears, I can't help wanting to know more. I wonder how recently he crossed over to this world, and why. What's your verdict? I whip my head in the opposite direction. What verdict? Got a long, good look. Are you impressed, or do I need work? My face grows hot. We're gonna say you're annoying, even though you're hot. You're hot, but annoying at the same time. You're annoying. He responds with a low chuckle, draped in smoke. Didn't stop you from staring. You being annoying doesn't stop you from being hot, so... My embarrassment spikes. Without thinking, I blurt out a change in topic. I have questions about the sea spring. Boredom eclipses amusement in an instant, and he closes his eyes again. Of course you threw. I thought I made myself clear. Why'd you be giving up? Before you kicked me out to go drinking, I still need to know more. My turn for a question. It sounds more like an order than anything else. I bristle under his narrowed gaze. Fine. He takes a long pull from his cigarette and lets the smoke trail slowly from his lips. Your curse. What about it? This song and dance is all too familiar. The selfish question comes first. What does it do? Is it painful? Can you control it? I brace myself for the inevitable onslaught. It's the thought of living with it really so unbearable. My dread dies with his words. No one has asked me that before. You survived this long, unless you're running out of time. I wonder if it's really worth the sacrifice. He flicks the cigarette aside and props his head on blood-smeared knuckles. But what do I know? I'm just an outsider. My fingers fuss with the trim of my cloak. Ordinarily, I feel annoyed, but now my chest feels tight. You could have sold me if you were less honest. You're a shit salesman. Thought I was a liar. I changed my mind. We lapse into silence again. This time, it's surprisingly nice. The quiet, chilled air is a calming reprieve. You know, you don't seem like an outsider back at the bar. A lot of people like you. AS raises a brow at me. I start by asking about... Oh man, we have so many. Hold on. I guess... Who do I want to ask? Leander. Leander seems like the guy who kind of gathers everyone together. You and Leander clearly get along well. You like Leander? Doesn't everyone? He's helped me a lot since I arrived at Iridia. He even got me a free room at the Wet Wick. His charm has gotten him far, but for a leader, he sure likes it when others take control. Part of me desperately wants to ask what he means, but AS continues before I get the chance. Surprised we get along? I thought you'd be at each other's throats instead of drinking buddies. His smile is easy, but there's a dangerous edge to it. Leander's done a good job. For a human. Naturally, there'll come a time when his resolve is tested. Same could be said for anyone, in this plane or the next. As for my resolve, well... Stick around in Iridia long enough, and you'll find out. I nod slowly. I can't decide if it sounds like a promise or a threat. Got any more observations, Sparrow? Save again. I'll do nobody, because I want to kind of get through this. I want to see how this continues. My main point is that, speaking from experience, being an outsider usually means you don't have friends. I don't. I level him with a tired look. Fine, I'll confess. I have one friend. Don't say yourself. Okodius? Who is Okodius? My skin prickles at that name. Hair standing on it. Wait, is that our like alchemy teacher? The one who experimented on us? Who's that? A friend. It lives in my head. Oh, okay, it's not. Okay, I was about to say. That would have been really interesting to see. It lives in your head? Would that be the tentacle creature we saw when we first saw him? AS taps his temple with a finger. Right here. Scared you off yet? That'd be the third bad impression I've made on you today. I'm stunned for a long moment, processing what he just told me. Then I burst into a fit of laughter. You're serious? AS grins wide enough to flash his fangs. Deadly. It sounds so fucking absurd, I can't help it. On top of everything I've gone through today, it feels like I'm living a fever dream. I've come closer to death more times than I can count, encountered tame solace in a horrifying group mind, and now I'm supposed to believe that there's someone living inside AS's head? There are tears in my eyes by the time I rein myself in. AS waits patiently, lips quirked in amusement. Sorry, it just sounds so ridiculous. The tension that wound my shoulders so tightly has melted away, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. I feel better. Dukas, where in the rat asses are you? Raucous, gruff shouts rise in the streets, echoed by the sound of heavy boots sloshing through mud. The voices share the roughneck's accent from the bar, the same roughneck who is still maybe dead and lying blooded across from us. I nearly forgot about him. I shove to my feet as their voices get louder. They're closing in quick. AS pulls me by the wrist out of the alley, away from the beaming moonlight. We dive into a nook between buildings, veiled in the shade of tattered canopies. It's a tight fit. AS boxes me in against the wall, his body all but pressed against mine as he towers over me. For the second time today, the heady scent of smoke envelops me, but this time cut with the metallic tinge of someone else's blood. AS pitches his voice low. Quiet. My heart leaps into my throat. I'm suddenly acutely aware of the heat radiating off AS's body, the feeling of his leg grazing my thigh, the closeness of his breath. This is bad. I squirm against him, earning a burning crimson glare. Do we really have to? His hand covers my mouth, muffling my whispers. He shakes his head. Don't. Damn, he's over here. Dukas, wake up, you bastard. A group of individuals, all brandishing spiked weapons, fill the alley. They all wear violet sashes, some kind of uniform. I wish I could see what they were doing, but AS's arm all but blocks my sight. My eyes trail up the teal markings. They coil around his arm, his bicep. They lead up to AS's collarbone, to the cords hanging around his neck. And to the smuggest smirk I've ever seen. We can bite him? Hold on. We can bite this man? Okay, I want to bite him. Can I bite him? I want to bite this man. I'm gonna bite him because I can. Bite him? Oh, he had his hand on our... Oh, right. I was thinking bite his neck, but okay, this is fine too. I move before I can think, opening my mouth enough to bare my teeth and bite down on AS's palm, hard. He winches, surprise flashing across his feature. His hand leaves my mouth, and I gasp in air. My breath is rapid from the adrenaline, but it's only when I lick my lips, when I taste the metallic tang of blood, that I realize I broke skin. Panic builds in my chest, my body tenses, bracing for his reaction. Every movement he's take is slow and deliberate. He bends down, leans close to my ear, in a husky whisper only I can hear. What is he about to say? Hold on. At least someone could draw blood today. A hot thrill jolts through me. For a heartbeat, I forget to breathe. Voices in the alley grab AS's attention this time. Shit, he's got more broken ribs than whole ones. What kind of freak did this? Fan out. Find the cocksucker responsible, you three. Take Dukas back to base. At least he's still breathing. The alley clears out as footsteps rush away from us. We stay still until they're distant, melting into the rumble of the quarter. When we finally step back into the moonlight, the night air is ice on my skin. I feel dazed and the need to keep my eyes off AS at all costs. Was that really necessary? The tremble to my voice is nothing but embarrassing. Could ask you the same thing. Didn't know sparrows could bite. You're lucky I didn't do worse. Try me. The thought of wiping that shitty grin off his face is definitely tempting. Staying hidden was the best option. Would be a hassle to run into them with you here. What? Because I'm dead weight? Because 3 bad impressions are enough for one day. The answer is too vague for my liking, but he's probably right. Either way, I don't have the energy to argue. Come on, Sparrow. Let's get you home before you're framed for murder. Very funny. We reach the front of the wet wick too quickly. I hate to admit it, but I don't want to separate from AS yet. And not just because he never answered my questions. He's infuriating. As easy as he makes me feel on edge, he can make me feel safe. Secure somehow. You know where to find me. At the creepiest place in the world. Take your time before you decide to drink. I happen to like your shitty attitude. Thank you. It takes me a moment to process it, then my eyes flutter down to my feet. I'll keep that in mind. When I glance back up from the ground, AS is already down the street, disappearing into the throng of people. No fanfare, not even a wave. Asshole. Hey, we did it! Okay. Can I save one more time? Alright, I just wanted to go... Did I save? Hold on, let me make sure. Oh yeah, I did save. Okay, we're good, yeah. Me and Menu. I just wanted to go through one of theirs. So we can go through the CG gallery, because I just wanted to look at Vide's thighs. Just a little peek. So I can actually look through everyone. Okay, let me actually go through it so I can see everyone better. So Kudos, okay, we gotta remember names. So Kudos is the doctor who saved us and reattached our arm. Leander's the leader of the Bloodhouse. They do work for free? And he's like a mage. He doesn't need spells. No, yeah, he doesn't need spells or like, what's the word? He doesn't need to draw circles, spell circles like that for it. Okay. Oh, and we touched him and he used a protection spell on himself. Vita is apparently owned by someone, is what it seems like he's a pet because he was collared and like chained up. And he's a monster hunter and he's very sly. And I'm pretty sure that shadow thing that kind of came up to us was him taking our key. And you can kind of tell we're not human and then not monster at the same time. We're kind of both. Aes, stupid idiot. I love him. Apparently he's, I guess, in charge of the, what was it? Sea Spring? The Sea Spring. The little octopus thing back here. I think that was the friend he was talking about in his head. I definitely forgot the name. Starts with the O though. Buddies with the Soulless, who apparently drunk from the Sea Spring. And the cute little princess. I would love to see more princess. Let's see. And Min is a freelancer? Basically like a hired killer maybe. Do they just do killing? Or can they do other jobs like finding people or like collecting debts? Okay. If I remember, Vita and Kudos aren't really friends. They don't really like each other. I'm gonna keep him up here because I love him. He's so pretty. So, impressions. I am really enjoying the art. The art of all the guys is so gorgeous. I really love it. I like the black bold lines in the areas. It makes everything pop more. Playthrough, you definitely got to meet everyone. It felt kind of fast that you met everyone so quickly. I definitely did feel a bit overwhelmed. Like I couldn't really meet and get to slightly know characters first before starting their routes. But since this is the demo, I'll see how it actually happens when the full game comes out. It seems like everyone is sort of not hating us as a person. They kind of just see us as we're here. They're kind of nice or kind of indifferent, which is interesting. There's not someone who outright hates us. That would actually be very interesting. To someone who just does not stand our existence and we slowly warm up to them. And I think that's really it. Very excited. I will link the Twitter, the Kickstarter, all their socials in the description for you guys to definitely look at. If you can, please donate to their Kickstarter. I do believe they reached their goal very quickly in the first day, in like 5 hours. And right now what they have are stretch goals. So definitely do check them out. And I had a lot of fun with this and I am very excited for when the full game is released. So thank you everyone for watching and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And I hope you did enjoy me talking about these anime guys and fangirl over them. And have a wonderful day. Bye! Price, what's up?